How's it going? Welcome to Browns Game Prep, a weekly show dedicated to the breakdown of Browns games or upcoming games. Let's dive into it. Welcome to the Browns Game Prep weekly show. It's me, John. This week we're looking at the Eagles as the Browns round into the back half of this season with another winnable game at home. First couple clips we're going to look at is from the Rams game. The Rams provide a very similar system what the Browns do. They want to run the ball, and in a couple plays you'll see what I think are ways that the Browns could attack the Eagles in ways that the Rams had similar success. Inside the 10, the Rams are heading in the score. They've done a good job prior to this of using Cooper Kupp as a diversion and getting the ball. In this case, they are an 11 personnel, which is one tight end, one running back, three wide receivers. They're going to bring Kupp across in motion, in a jet motion. On the snap, you see the misdirection. The Eagles are in man coverage, and they are going to run what is essentially a counter play from they're going to, instead of pulling a down lineman, they're going to pull the tight end. He's going to loop around, and he is going to lead for Robert Woods. Now, I have been critical of Stefanski and saying that he likes to get a little too cute. I think was a direct quote with his trick plays. This is one where I think the difference is if you're going to do this, you set it up with things like this, where Cooper Kupp has been in motion. They've done a good job setting this up. They've set it up to where Kupp gets the ball in this. They've set it up to where they obviously hand this up the middle to the running back downhill. And the two guys who I would see in either of these roles would be this is Jarvis, this is Hunt, or vice versa. So they would fulfill these two roles, and obviously Chubb in the backfield. So just the way that the Browns could get this in, and it's a nice little scheme up, and the Rams did an excellent job of setting this up. Okay, we're on to the next play. It's going to build off of what we just saw on the touchdown to Robert Woods. The Rams come out in that same look, the same 11 personnel with three wide receivers and one tight end, one running back. All right, Goff is going to send Kupp in motion, and this time Kupp is going to be the recipient of the handoff, and they're going to pull there. Instead of pulling this guy, they're just going to lead with him up the field. You see the effect that it has on, this is all the down lineman, corner, defensive end. This looks like a middle linebacker, another middle linebacker completely out of position. Only guy in position was a backside, I want to say safety, rolled down. So, yep. Pre-rolled safety. Watch the effects that it has on the interior box. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men. And by the time that middle linebacker has to stop his feet and react, Coop's already outside. I keep calling him Coop. We're just going to roll with it. Coop's already outside, and he's going to go upfield and make a big gain. And so this is what I was kind of getting into when I was talking about Stefanski. Stefanski will kind of get these plays where they're drawn out of dirt and they're not really set up. This is a calculated setup misdirection by McVay, and it's gotten him two big plays the times that they've run it. And not to mention when they've run the football, they've been successful just handing it straight to the running back. So this is kind of more of a scheme or a concept than it is just a pull a rabbit out of a hat trick. And I like these. I like these calculated tricks. Again, we'll watch the effect that it has on this box of players, the 4 down linemen and 3 linebackers. Even the camera guy's fooled. I mean, that's when you know it's a great play. Okay, the Rams come out quick out of the huddle with, again, the same 11 personnel that we've seen. This time they line up in 11 with a bunch to the left. We're going to get the similar look that we saw with Woods, where he comes around the end. So Woods got on the touchdown. Woods was given this ball. The tight end pulled and the running back fake the ball up the middle. In this case, Henderson is going to take the ball this time with a big gain. And again, you start to see this concept, this build of where it's misdirection. The Browns could do a lot more of post-snap misdirection with motions or just moving players and like this. So in this case, we already saw Woods score a touchdown. We saw Coop. We're calling him Coop. That's his nickname now. We saw Coop on the jet sweep, and now we see the give to Henderson with the effect that it has on the linebacking core and the other players in the box. I mean, they have a loaded box here. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the box against this look, even though this is technically a three wide receiver set. So, but we'll see the similarities. This is going to be the very similar play without the jet motion. You're going to get the wraparound by Woods. You're going to get the pull by the tight end. And it's going to have that same look in the backfield. And you're going to see a lot of confusion. And Henderson's going to do a great job of finding the hole. Guys getting on people, making plays. Okay, so previous play, we come out in the exact same formation. The tight bunch, 11 personnel. They bring the tight end across in a trade to balance it out. But now you're in kind of a I think we were calling a condensed 2x2. All this has been set up. You're going to get hard, toss fake, and boot the opposite way. So again, we talked about the misdirection and how susceptible these linebackers and safeties are to it. Browns do this exact same thing, all right? Instead of the fake toss, which they could do, the Browns love to do the outside zone. And you get a free runner across the field. It's something that plays right in the Browns' hands. But you can start to see the genius of McVay and how much credit people give him when they talk about him as a coach and a play caller, especially. He set all this up, this same personnel group, this tight bunch, this condensed 2x2 out of the same personnel, different looks every time, different plays, keeping the defense guessing with misdirections. He did an excellent job setting this up, and the culmination is going to be this, not necessarily the culmination, but when you're getting huge chunk plays out of something you specifically designed to get those plays out of, that is high level coaching. And I think the Browns and Stefanski could take that step and kind of expand a little bit on certain schemes and misdirections and calculated risk plays, like a reverse that we saw that Robert Woods scored on. Things like that where it's built all into the same system and it's not just kind of a one-off. Here we go, same personnel group. We've seen this formation before, right? We've seen the tight bunch to the right out of 11 personnel, one tight end, one running back. You get Woods on the jet motion. Someone who's already scored, playmaker, they're trying to get them the ball, someone they need to be concerned about. Man's running with it. Influence on the linebackers. They start to widen, maybe lose gap integrity a little. Makes them think. Now you get the huge cutback zone by the widening of the linebackers on the jet, and you get a massive play. Let's look at it from the back now, from the end zone view. Same formation that we've seen all game. They've done an excellent job at designing this and executing it. The Rams have. Jet motion. Watch the two middle linebackers. Middle linebacker number 47 is going to be responsible for anything in that A gap, that front side A gap, so that between the right guard and a center. Backside linebacker is going to be responsible for anything within that C gap, so between 73 and 77. All right, now watch the width gained. He starts to lose a little bit of gap integrity. See how wide that middle linebacker is now? He's going to fill. They're going to get a hat on hat. Had this middle linebacker played it more slow and stayed a little bit behind the ball, he should have helped to his left side where he is being walled off, and he stays a little bit behind where 79 is and maybe stacks there. They're not going to be able to climb to him as easy. But again, the Rams designed and executed a beautiful play, and they get a huge gain out of it. The Rams are going to come out in the same personnel, condensed look, and the reason they do this too this time is because they're expecting man coverage. What the condensed look is now that the guy covering Cooper Kupp or the receiver here is going to have to run through space. He can't come up and bump. All right, that's advantage for the offense. So they're expecting man. They're going to run a mesh concept, which is very popular in a game today. You're going to get the two guys we saw it against. If you watched my video previous week, the Packers ran this against the Texans. It's the same concept. They're going to run a mesh concept out of 11 personnel. They come up in quick snap. You're going to see the off coverage. So the Eagles switch. So the off guy takes the deep route. The short guy takes the under route. That gets him in trouble because he has to go through that wide receiver. So he's immediately a step behind Cooper Kupp. You see Higbee coming across the formation, and these guys are going to run and look to legally pick each other. At the bottom of the screen, you see the wide receiver releasing to the inside, and we have the running back on a wheel route, causing a collision. Those two defensive players right here at the bottom of the screen have collided. That's why this condensed look is great. Offensive lineman and defensive lineman will usually use this term, but in this case, the offensive skill positions are making the defensive guys play in a phone booth. There's no room for movement. You're gonna bump into somebody, and in the offensive player's case, you want them bumping into each other or you to free up one guy. All right, and so we're gonna see already a step behind. Higbee doesn't even have to pick anybody. The Eagles linebacker is running with nobody. I have no idea who he's covering. And you get Kupp coming across the middle of the field. You have the corner, number 24, trailing his player. I think that's Woods, who's going to run a deep over or a sit. And then you have the corner. You see the space created just formationally. Nobody actually picked anybody. All that wide receiver did to the top, number 12, was run his corner route, just freely straight up. All right, we come into the Eagles Week 4 contest versus the 49ers. 49ers I thought would be a good tape. It wasn't great because Garoppolo's out, so they're kind of hamstrung with Mullins. They didn't take a lot of shots. They were very vanilla, but this is one play that Shanahan drew up, and it's a good one. So, and the Browns could execute this. This could very easily be Bryant or Hooper in this role instead of Juszczyk. I believe I said his name correctly. Sorry if I didn't. Or maybe even Janovich, although I'm not quite sure that Janovich is the receiver that Juszczyk is. But here we go. So we get the same motion across. Browns will do this trade. This could even be jet. As we saw, perhaps maybe they want to run something like this. The Eagles are in man coverage because number 24 is following. We get hard play action to the right or to the left, straight up the middle of the field. And we are going to see the fullback leak out wide open. This is a play that if you watch Baker Mayfield or you watch Oklahoma in college, you would recognize. They do a pretty good job of taking that lead, that ISO guy, and they'll slip him out every now and then, and it's opened up some huge plays. So would love to see the Browns do something similar to this since they employ the fullback so often. And like I said, with Harrison Bryant now filling that role, you get a better receiver in that role who's shown that he's willing to put his body out there on the line and give everything he has to block, and you can reward him with this design. It's beautifully done. So let's see the setup back here. You get the downhill look, and it's man coverage, right? So that means somebody has to have the fullback in man coverage. 57 is gonna load, deliver, and absorb a hit. Watch him load his feet, boom, and just slipped out. All right, the Giants in this game were very methodical. They had a few chunk plays, but most of their stuff was, I would say, under 10 yards passing and guys just making plays. So we see this same formation, the same exact formation that we saw in the Rams game, the condensed 11 personnel with the bunch to the left. You get the tight end trade. He's going to lead up through the hole, and they just base block and run what is essentially ISO or zone. Gallman makes a guy miss. The reason I wanted to show this was a couple of reasons. A, we see that the Giants employ the same thing that they saw in previous film study that seemed to work against this team. And B, you're going to notice that, again, these linebackers are just running to areas. They're not actually, they have no idea where the ball is right now. So it's going to be very important for the Browns to take advantage of this linebacking unit from the Eagles so that they can open up big holes like this for Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So I'm not sure of this exact stat, but this is just a feel. I haven't done any research on it. It's just a feel, so I could be entirely wrong. But it feels like the Browns do not pass on first down, especially play action pass on first down, as much as I would like them to. And in general, it's extremely effective. We're going to see here, just watch the reaction of the defensive players on this play, knowing that it's first down. Ball is on the 15. They know that the Giants want to play it safe, so watch their reaction as players. You get a run-heavy look from the Giants with a 3 tight end personnel grouping. So this would be a 13 personnel, a grouping that Browns run frequently. You're going to get a tight end trade after the initial trade. You see them running with him, so we know it's what coverage. Man, correct. All right, nice job answering my questions, guys. And now we go in, and again, like I was saying, watch the effect that this has just down and distance, where they are at on the field. They're in their negative 15, so automatically thinking a more safe play. Let's just watch how it unfolds, and let's see the aggressiveness of the defense and how that can be used against them in the Brown case if they get into a situation like this. Screaming downhill. Everyone sees that, right? Absolutely screaming. We saw how aggressive they are on this. Now let's go back and let's think about what we saw in this film study. Just off the top of my head, I think of 2 plays right away that the Browns could employ against this. The first one was against the Steelers, where the game was out of hand. Instead of one of these tight ends on the line of scrimmage, they could be in a wing position. They could even be back. It could be personnel. It could be 13. It could be Bryant. It could be Janovich. Those guys are pretty much interchangeable. But we saw the San Francisco 49ers dial up a great play, take advantage of the aggressiveness by the defense. Guy whiffs, better pass by Mullins, and it's a huge play. Gets him in the plus yards. That's how I see this unfolding. The Browns can be opportunistic against this defense in situations like this and take advantage of that opportunity. They haven't really done so in the past to this point. They haven't been a big play action or play action team on first down. I'd like to see a little bit more of this. And if they get in a situation like this where you go ahead, be aggressive, you're at home, let's go ahead and make plays. Watch them fly to the ball on this snap. They don't downhill right away. They haven't even looked. All right. All they need to do is engage for a second and slip this, and you are out on the. There's no one back there. They are full aggressive run read right from the snap, and this is something that I would love to see the Browns take advantage of. This is come out, be aggressive on first down with a play action. We saw an example of the 49ers do it, and we have an example from our past game against the Steelers where we were in the exact same formation, I almost think, just on the other side, and we leaked out Hooper. So I'd love to see that dialed up again. Okay, here's a last look defensive clip. This is where a situation that the Browns need to avoid. While the Eagles defense has been subpar, Brandon Graham is still having an excellent season. And when you get him in a situation where he knows all he does is have to go after the pass, he is still elite. And we'll see it on this play here. He knows by down and distance, and really by personnel grouping and formation that he's able to go. So he just wins with speed and power like he's done a lot this season, and the Browns need to really try and avoid that situation so that Graham isn't able to go and tee off.